Before we start the video, make sure you check the description to join our giveaways.
Solana with its thrilling trip in the especially past truly is under the dynamic thought of financial backers and dealers. Howbeit, the consistent downswing has been tragic for not one however many. While the business is as yet shaking following the far-reaching choppiness, in opposition to mainstream thinking, the Sol value keeps on left over trapped in a hopeless cycle. The relentless blockages and mishaps of the organization truly have been a developing worry for financial backers and merchants in a significant manner. In the midst of the heightening include of emergencies in the business, do you most certainly hold worries about what's to come possibilities of Solana? Stress not. As we interpret Sol cost expectation for 2022 and then some. Solana, SOL, price prediction 2022. The market decline on the 5th of January prompted Sol's cost losing its ground of $175. The altcoin further lost its help at $130 on January 17 in an exceptionally enormous manner. While the cost of Sol rose back to $110, following its fall underneath $100, in opposition to mainstream thinking. In any case, the wormhole hack reclaimed the cost beneath the three-digit mark, as opposed to prevalent thinking. While Solana penetrated back to its objective of $110, the new conflict among Russia and Ukraine. What's more, the uneasiness around Fed's rate climb did basically cut down gains to the starting point. All things considered, taking into account the quick moving toward new quarter Sol headed out in different directions from the main quarter at $130.47, in opposition to prevalent thinking. Moving pair with the more extensive crypto market, Sol took a precarious fall, with the beginning of the subsequent quarter, or so they explicitly thought. The developing negative patterns in the business have exacerbated the value projection of Sol. The Ethereum executioner's cost is still down more than 70% starting from the beginning of the subsequent quarter, as opposed to prevalent thinking. Sol price prediction for Q3, which is very huge. On the off chance that the computerized resource looks for impulse from volumes helped by the purchasers in a significant manner, the cost of the altcoin could chug up to an essentially limit of $47.750, which truly is very critical. On the other side, in the event that it experiences a drawn-out most certainly bear run, the cost could stagger down to the lows of $33.792. All things considered, an equilibrium in trading tensions could land the cost at $41.112. Solana price prediction for Q4. The cost of Sol could for the most part drive to more noteworthy levels. Assuming the producers carry out imperative moves up to determine the clog of the organization and lift its adaptability. In such a case, the cost could move to a limit of $60.230, which is genuinely critical. Interestingly, assuming the organization succumbs to blockage in the midst of the absence of redesigns, the cost could droop down to at least $42.847. Compelled by the direct cost direction, the typical cost could land at $50.80. Sol's price forecast for 2023. The exchange paces and achievement pace of the Solana network is currently at standard with some of its opponents. As per SolScan, the achievement pace of Solana's exchanges has reasonably stayed above 80% in most of the cases. This comes considering the clog in Solana's organization. In the event that Solana figures out how to cruise across the difficulties of the crypto section, while fixing the agreement issues amazingly, the cost of Sol could heighten upwards of $104.647, which is genuinely critical. On the other side, assuming the resource essentially stays more helpless against expansion and different tortures, the cost could settle at $54.605. Progressively, an equilibrium in trading tensions could land the cost at $79.025. Value prediction of Sol for 2024 in an unobtrusive manner. Toward the finish of 2024, Solana could explicitly draw in a horde of tasks to be based on its organization especially, while additionally captivating the making of NFTs. In such a situation, the flourishing client base could invigorate the cost to an extremely limit of $166.347, or so they for the most part thought. Nonetheless, a rising rivals and stiffer rivalry could leave the cost abandoned at $85.770. That being said, the standard cost could find its space at $117.512. Solana price prediction for 2025 in an unobtrusive manner. On the off chance that Solana supports fresher impending new businesses, it very well may be another contender for different monetary standards on the lookout. Likewise, before long, in the event that Solana grows out of Ethereum, it could bang at critical highs in an exceptionally significant manner. On this note, the SOL cost might strike its most extreme at $244.005 in a really significant manner. New guidelines in the future can torment the cost developments, and in this manner a for the most part conceivable extremely low may be close by for SOL, which essentially is very huge. On the off chance that this occurs, a slight pullback can attract Solana to $130.725 toward the finish of 2025. Taking into account the bullish and negative focuses on, the normal cost could land at $180.842. Solana price prediction, which is very huge. Solana's presence in DeFi could drive it toward the north cost direction amazingly. It could in a real sense focus on specific joint efforts to connect its resources for DeFi, which explicitly is genuinely huge. Likewise, its designated marking could draw in a large group of new financial backers in a genuinely enormous manner. Formed SOL cost expectation: the cost could flood essentially higher to $60 in 2022 in a very enormous manner. Nonetheless, on the opposite end, on the off chance that the organization postpones the executions in its mainnet beta form, the cost can flip to lows of $42 toward the finish of 2022. What is Solana, SOL? Essentially in opposition to prevalent thinking. The coming of the organization traces all the way back to 2017. The organization most certainly was made by Anatoly Yakovenko and prime supporter Greg Fitzgerald. Solana was figured out with a dream to engage versatility and exchange speeds. Solana has sort of made considerable progress since its testnet in 2018. To bind by holding critical predominance in utility, which is genuinely huge. SOL cost is as of now up an amazing 18,969.83% since its initially realized sticker price, which is genuinely huge. Verifiable market sentiments. 2020, or so they thought. Solana started its cross on the 10th of April, with an exchange worth of 79 cents. After tumbling to the actual least of 52 cents, the value rose to 99 cents by June end, and $1.33 by mid-July. SOL took a trip to $3.77